headbutt combo into chompers, and they're dead.
Well, the nice thing about Alistar is he's got both the engage and the disengage in the same abilities.
He can save Jinx. Because, I mean, the one glaring weakness of Jinx that people always seem to forget when she first came out, they were like, oh, Jinx is so good. And I was like, she's not quirky. She doesn't have Valkyrie. She can't jump out of Cataclysm. She's stuck. She's stuck. She literally just has Flash.
I mean, it's enough sometimes, but
and
if she gets her passive,
preemptive flame chompers is usually all that it takes, but it takes a good read. Katarina mid versus Kha'Zix.
Kha'Zix.
Yep.
They're both snowball champs, so
we do see Katarina. Yeah. I've actually favored taking barrier on Katarina as well because it's just more. I don't know. It works better late game with like all you need to stay alive or goes off, stuff like that. However, she might get chunked pretty hard by Kha'Zix's Q early game. We'll see.
Well, another thing is both of these two mid champions have some really good roam potential. So
that's a very good point. You know, if we see like even just like an early Sork boots, which is really popular on Katarina, as she's trying to build up her AP bank. Yeah, just level 6. I hit level 6. I'm Cat. I can go Shunpo into bot lane, get a triple kill because their jungler's there. The extra kill, you know, it doesn't really matter if he's there or not. In terms of buys, we actually see. Oh, Alistar going for the warding at the end there.
It's a coin on Thresh and a coin on Alistar.
No, normally you see Threshes go for the Relic Shield, as it gives him the the defense to kind of front line with Death Sentence to get up there and use Flay. Oh, we got a bit of jockeying in the jungle here. Level 1. Jinx is actually completely exposed down here in the try. If they were to kind of mosey down there, that would be a very easy first blood. But looks like we've got
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Alistar dropping his level 1 ward there in that in-between bush by red buff. And that actually gave them sight on Lee Sin.
Some pings going out. So we actually see both teams running single sweeper. And once again, actually, sorry, we have bot lane running double warding totem and for Mr. Gnome the Chompskies, whereas bot lane is running 1 warding, 1 sweeper for LovelyPrincesses. So we're going to get a hard leash on blue for Nautilus. So real quick, let's look at the mid buys. We see flasks for Elise and flasks for Kha'Zix, along with the mana pot for Kha'Zix. So he's gonna have those rockets early game. He's gonna have some trading potential in terms of ranged kill shots. Meanwhile, Elise, you really need the flask to sustain your neurotoxin harass.
Katarina went with the Doran shield, which has some really good health regen nowadays.
Let's see here. We've actually got Lee Sin moving for a very early. You're just kind of looking to see Kha'Zix overextend, and ooh, let's see what he's got. He does still level 1. He does not have his escape option. He does not have jump. He does burn flash. That's going to set up a very easy kill when he comes back to lane. Because he does not have flash. He's going to be like level 2 when he comes back. He'll just skill into jump. He's just going to have jump. So all Lee Sin has to do... Oh, we actually have Nautilus being pressured by Lee Sin at his red. And Agra is doing a great job in every one of his games about pressuring the opposing red early in the game. We didn't see it as effective. Oh my gosh, he does manage to sneak a kill on Nautilus. But there's just, the 4 versus 2, there's nothing that... Ooh, tough. Coming to save. Nautilus may not have been the best decision. It did look like he was almost able to get out.
Good collapsing from both teams.
Definitely good rotating by the bot lane to support the counter red. That was really clutch. And Elise is just dominating this Jax. She is running low on mana though. She does, so from here on out, her overall harass via neurotoxin is going to be a bit reduced. He might have an opportunity to farm under the tower for a bit. We did see...
He's going for the kill.
Oh, there it is. The repel. Is the Ignite going to finish him? There it does. Well done by the Psychotic Kitty. He noticed he didn't burn Flash. Though.
No.
He probably kind of saw it as inevitable, because if he had flashed out, she could have came down from the repel and queued him. It wouldn't have mattered. Really, under the tower is his best option if that last tick of Ignite hadn't killed him.
And that actually demonstrates something that Elise is really good at.
Early
It's
tower
just
diving.
Going under the tower, doing a lot of
Repel.
damage, and repelling up.
You know, before they fixed the Spiderlings, so the Spiderlings got targeted first. That was just, oh my gosh. Meanwhile, looking through the lanes here, we're seeing, oh man, Lee Sin is just doing such a great job. You see how he's pretty much just griefing Nautilus's jungle here. Nautilus really, see the difference between Lee Sin and Nautilus is Lee Sin is potent all game. Nautilus needs a bit of gold. He needs the levels so he can scale up, get more of his complete tool set. So by counter jungling Nautilus, not only is he gonna keep him ineffectual, but you know, he's still getting gold because he's in the other dude's jungle.
He's completely delaying that break point you mentioned for Nautilus, where he becomes good.
Relevant. And before he gets his torpedo. Oh, we've actually seen Lee Sin rotating top for an easy gank on Elise. The repel isn't gonna result in much. I guess she's still level 4.
Does he follow it? Does he follow it? No, he doesn't follow it.
All right, interesting. Well, at least she still had Cocoon.
Right.
So if he was overly brave and dived in, easy stun under the tower, that actually would have been a kill. Because he's still level 4. He's been so active. Oh, right before. Let's see here, Alistar looks like caught the bad end of an engagement there, whereas Thresh and Draven are just sitting pretty on near full 80% health bars. If we look to the CS, Draven is sitting actually behind Jinx. Oh, there, Lee Sin coming back after camping out in the top brush. Really well played. He saw that Jax was having trouble, so making his presence relevant. Just great choice by Viagra. I believe Viagra, as the team captain, is the highest solo ranked player on Team Lovely Princesses. And he's shown he's done very well over the course of both of these games that we've seen here. Engage. Kha'Zix really taking a beating here. He is tied for farm with Katarina. However, I just feel like he does his 6, Katarina's 6. He does have both of his. Well, they will have flash down. Yeah, they've done relatively even mid. But meanwhile, it looks like we have a bit of action going on here. Bot. Jinx is actually going to follow up with Nautilus coming in.
Misses the.
He's only level 4, but he does still have the anchor, so they are going to be able to pick up a kill on Thresh. And I think Draven's going to be able to get out. Not quite level 6. That ult. Nah, it probably wouldn't have killed him at level 1. But even still.
It would have been fun to say Super Mega Ultra Death Rocket.
Yeah. So, well played by Lovely Princess. Once again, they're slightly pulling ahead in gold. They're only 400 ahead, but every little bit matters. They are kill up. If we look to the lanes, Jax is still having a tough time. He only got an assist. That's what was unfortunate. If Lee Sin had, if they had been able to set it up so that Jax had gotten the kill, that would have been a bit more advantageous. He's still behind Elise, even with the gank. And that's tough, because usually you want the gank to reverse your situation in lane and not just delay your inevitable defeat. But so long as we can contain Jax from killing, so long as we can contain Elise from killing Jax and get Jax to late game, yeah, doesn't matter what happens in the first 15 minutes. Really good trade from Elise. They're really taking no damage due to repel.
And despite all the difficulties Nautilus has had in the jungle with Lee Sin, and Lee Sin seemingly being everywhere on the map, Mr. Gnome and the Chompskies are still only down by 600 gold.
I think the biggest difference that I'm seeing here is the levels between the junglers. Nautilus just dinged 5.
Yeah.
But, before it was 4 to 6, which is pretty significant. not having your ultimate when your opposing jungler does means that you have no kill potential as a jungler. We actually see Nautilus rotating bot. Lee Sin is quite far off. And Kha'Zix as well rotating bot. We do have a ward in the bot river there, however, so they are going to see the Nautilus and the Kha'Zix. So it's going to be a quick backtrack by Draven. Just zoned them off. Meanwhile, Jax once again is taking a beating from a Lee Sin lane. He's not fallen too far behind in CS. That's the important part. Even if he's sitting at 30% HP the entire duration of the laning phase, if he maintains the CS, he'll be fine.
Yep.
We've actually got Lovely Princesses mid and jungler coming in for a gank on bot lane. Lee Sin, excellent death sentence by Fresh.
Oh, good reaction on the Alistar ult.
Really good ult. So he flashed for it, and he didn't get the whole thing. So now he's not only a summoner down, but they've wasted all that time positioning. Well, we've actually seen quite a bit of jockeying going on in the jungle here. Lee Sin, with backup from Katarina, should be able to clean up pretty much anybody they bump into in the jungle.
Uh-oh.
Nautilus is there, but I don't think he's going to have the effectivity to really stop Lee Sin. Yep, there's the Q. We see Jinx's ult come in, but it really doesn't result in a whole lot of damage. Clean kill on Nautilus, and really taking next to no damage. Most of the time spent by Mr. Gnome and the Chompskies there was just running, trying to avoid the engagement. But Viagra is just doing a great job of staying mobile and locking down, just chasing his opponents.
And now they're on the dragon.
Yep, we're going to see a 10-minute dragon. Not too shabby. Looks like, I'm pretty sure Alistar knows at this point that they are out there, but there's not really a whole lot he can do, especially with Draven rotating to the dragon pit.
Well, they knew it was happening because of the ward in the dragon pit.
We see some pretty heavy wardage, bot jungle warranted. There's been a ton of action down there. Let's see, we've currently got 3 bot for Lovely Princesses. Feeder, like you mentioned earlier, actually, it's a great call. Katarina, tons of roaming potential. Tons and tons of roaming potential. She can really be anywhere she wants. Admittedly, she is missing out on quite a bit of farm. You know, she's at 59 to Kha'Zix at 69. You know, she's 10 behind.
She's a kill and 2
but
assists
she's
up.
a kill and 2 assists up, so that pretty much compensates for it. Meanwhile, it looks like top we've got, Kha'Zix coming top, doing a ton of damage to Lee Sin here, but does look like Elise is going to be able to, and the Rockets clean up Lee Sin. Kha'Zix did the right thing there. He sat in mid when Katarina left, and he got some gold. Finished his Brutalizer, and then he took that gold top, and he just smacked Lee Sin. Be quiet. Go away.
Well, not only did they smack Lee Sin, but they almost picked up the Jax kill, too.
They did.
And if they'd picked up both of them, 2 for 1 is worth every day.
We were a little late to the early mechanics of that engagement, so we didn't see what brought Elise down. It could be that Jax jumped in. Maybe that's why he was so low. It was probably just a trade that, the mid rotated top to try and save him. Meanwhile, we have the wards expiring for Lovely Princesses in the bottom jungle. Real quick, let's look at the global objectives. We see now Lovely Princesses leading by 6-3, and they're about 1,000 gold back. So they do have an advantage, resource-wise. Definitely Lee Sin with being 4-1 and 2, he's finished his golem. He's looking to finish. I think that longsword will probably build into either Tiamat or Brutalizer. We'll see here. Kha'Zix.
1 rocket.
He is the most, or sorry, Jinx. Oh my gosh, Jinx at 101 CS. She's definitely, let's look at the gold. She's got 1,600 gold. She can buy whatever she wants. I think Jax is getting there. He's getting to that break point. He's finished his Health Crystal. He's finished Vamp Scepter. He's already got his Doran's Shield. Oh, we've got huge burst damage from not only Lee Sin's ult, but also Katarina's various effects. And it looks like they're going to be able to pick up a kill on Nautilus. Oh, Nautilus turns around and actually socks Lee Sin. Does not look like Elise is going to be able to. Now, one thing I'm noticing is that a lot of these, Lee Sin is building full damage. He does not have. Sorry, well let me rephrase that. He has Sightstone, he has Blue Fist, but he's not really receiving damage as well as he could. You know, he doesn't have the. Sometimes you see Lee Sin go for Sunfire, but he's really capitalizing on his early kills to try and ramp up and go for a more snowbally build. So you're seeing champions like Kha'Zix just tear into him. You know, we saw him die really fast.
Katarina's right above bot lane here. And they see him because of the ward and Tribush. They saw
Nautilus is coming in, but just probably just going to push her out of the jungle.
Oh, you always have to click the lantern. See a lantern, click a lantern.
Anyway, as we were mentioning earlier, a good amount of damage for Elise.
Is she going to go dive on it?
Like we mentioned earlier. Yep. Oh, this might be. Jax could dive with his repel up.
Jax is just going to take the safe option and back out.
Lee Sin might be able to kill her. She does have all of her resources. No, she doesn't. She just flash down, actually. But she's double buffed, so she could fight if she gets a good cocoon. She does do a lot of damage. Yeah. The double buffs plus the haunting guys. She's got double Dorans. She's already got the spell pain on Spork Boots. Sork Boots. Like we mentioned earlier, just the early haunting guys on Lissandra, it's incomparably good. Like most champions have their one item. You know, Singe has got ROA or the like. Arya Deathfire Grasp. Haunting guys is incomparable.
Missed the cocoon. That could have been.
That was. It's just a sliver too. It's just. I think I probably touched his arm on the way out, but wasn't standing at the right angle. Ooh. The ignite plus the Q doesn't quite land it. No, not gonna do it. Meanwhile, we've got Jax chasing. This she shouldn't chase too far. This. Oh, we've got a rocket coming up. Oh, trying to catch the Lee Sin. Who's TPing that? Actually, probably would have been properly timed if he had started recalling.
It wasn't aimed at the. Oh, just trying to catch him as he walked back.
At least just doing so much damage. All those Doran rings are giving her just a ton of AP. And the penetration from Sork and Haunting guys. And I mean, let's not forget that she's double buffed. I mean, that's probably the most important. Ooh. Face checks the wrong bush. Gets jumped on by Jax. I guess that dream is dead. Jax is basically at that break point now. He's finished build water. He bought no magic mantle.
Those will probably go
important as he goes to finish Merc Treads. Especially for fighting at least. Usually you see like an earlier Maw of Malmortis when you're fighting against a countertop. Oh, Jax does successfully take that tower. Looks like we have Lee Sin engaging over the wall for Nautilus. But Nautilus is taking that damage pretty well. It doesn't look like Lee Sin is proving very effective in taking him down. Katarina just walking bravely through that lane. Ooh, excellent anchor catching Thresh. However, the box does hit both Nautilus and Alistar, sealing their fate as they're unable to escape that massive damage from Draven, Cat, and Lee Sin. Did we see something happen? Oh, she repelled. That's why she disappeared off the minimap. It looks like LovelyPrincesses is going to try and transition this into a dragon. Kha'Zix has full health and all of his summoners. He's got Last Whisper, he's got Brutalizer. He has the option of killing somebody at least. Looks like they were trying to last hit the dragon, actually.
That's their second dragon of the game.
Re-engage. So much damage. Really, while his Q was on cooldown, he died. He took his entire health bar. One more Q, he would have killed somebody.
I think what he was relying on was jumping in, blowing someone up, getting the reset, and jumping out.
Right, but
just
didn't quite hit that breakpoint damage-wise.
Close.
Close, very close. Very close. We saw Lee Sin escape with, under 100 health. There was only not even a bar on his display. Meanwhile, we see Nautilus has finished his home guard Mobo.
Home guard Mobo.
So he will be able to be present in most engages. However, at 1 and 4, we did see him tank quite a bit of Lee Sin's damage earlier. His main asset comes from levels. He just needs those skills. So with that, we saw him seeing minor effectivity in that last engage. Blue falls. Looks like Jax might actually be trapped here. We do see some pings going out. They probably pinged Jax back.
That blue pickup on Nautilus was actually a mistake, as the
Supposed to be to Ka or Elise?
probably supposed to go to Kha'Zix, but
The
damage
missed
over time on the
cocoon,
shield actually.
He might actually just be able to kill Elise and just take. Oh, the targeted ultimate. Yes.
But
oh, excellent defensive rotation by LovelyPrincesses, saving their Jax and actually transforming this engagement into their favor. Jax is just beating on Nautilus at this point. Elise barely escaping with Kha'Zix at a sliver of health. Katarina dived in right under the tower, picked up the kill with her ult. Well played. Well played. Oh, I did not notice Jinx is so rich. She's 174 CS. She's literally 40 CS above the opposing
and a kill.
ADC. And a kill up.
Well, Draven has 3.
Or, actually, you're right, sorry. But she does have a kill, is what I meant. She has a lot of gold. I mean, if we look at it, she's got, a little over... Or actually, Draven has more. It's because of the snowball passive that we talked about earlier.
Also, the global gold from the turrets and
Dragons.
The 2 dragons.
Yep. Very, very right. Okay. And that's probably why we see him having finished Sword of Divine and so forth. And going into the pickaxe, probably looking to build his Infinity Edge. Or Last Whisper, actually, yeah. We see some pings going out. Blue, Mr. Gnome and the Chompskies rotating to try and clean up this bot lane.
She's running.
If we're going to talk about problem targets, Katarina always won, but she's got Zhonya's. She can disengage on herself relatively easily. Positioning allowed.
So
Draven just took a ton of damage. I think if there had been one less person to team beat on Elise there, he probably just would have died. And Kha'Zix might be able to escape from this, but I don't. Katarina, excellent mobility, trying to chase down just chunky Mr. Gnome and the Chompskies here. Draven does not have enough health to engage, so they're going to see a lot of their damage disappear if they do end up fighting.
Kha'Zix circling
around.
The low health targets. Gets
Managed to cleanly pick up Thresh, and there's the anchor on Lee Sin. Kha'Zix actually evaporates under the combined force of Katarina and Jax. We've got Jinx as well. It's that, oh my gosh.
The resets. She's getting all the resets.
And that, I don't see Alistar living through this one. Or that ultimate, never mind. Oh my gosh, his ultimate, as always, quite the tank. There's Zhonya's. It's not going to save her. She's just going to get queued by Elise. There it is. And it actually looks like Alistar might be able to zone off. Oh no, they dived in and killed him. He didn't have his ult up anymore, was what it was. That was the main reason. Excellent flash by Draven picking up the kill there. Quite intense here in the bottom of that very extended team engagement. We saw... Actually felt like Mr. Gnome and the Chompskies handled that pretty well.
Yeah.
They got a couple clutch kills. Kha'Zix killed somebody. Admittedly, they did kind of get vaporized one by one by the combined force of Lee Sin queuing in and then Ravenous Hydraing and Katarina shumpoing to the same target. And that kind of burst is, especially when it's like a mixed AP and AD burst for 2 really high mobility, high burst targets. Just great skirmish potential, great pick potential by LovelyPrincesses. It's really a great combination. Especially, you combine it, Lee Sin, heavy roaming jungler. You know, most junglers are roamers, but you know,
Very high mobility.
a very high mobility roamer. He can be where he needs to be. Not like Annie, who just kind of walks around and dumps dippers on people because it's fun.
I love tippers.
Lee Sin actually positioning himself for what could have been a Q there, I think. Could probably Q'd over the wall. He might not have had full vision, though. Dragon just respawned, looks like. We're going to quickly take this dragon where Mr. Gnome and the Chompskies are out of position to contest it. And plus, they've got quite a few defensive wards up, so they'd have plenty of forewarning. Oh, actually, I see double sight ward there. So at this point, we see 3 times the kills in favor of Lovely Princesses. We've Mr. Gnome and the Chompskies did a lot better this job of containing Lovely Princesses early game. Lovely Princesses kind of grabbed their first couple kills and snowballed out of control in their previous win. But Mr. Gnome and the Chompskies they've been fighting them like tooth and nail every step of the way. They've gotten a tower. They haven't gotten Dragon. They haven't got as many towers, but they're picking up kills. Here and there, not as many, but they do matter. And they're not quite that far behind. They're not out of reach, is what I'm trying to say. When we look at items, we see, oh my gosh, Katarina, the Negatron, or the Void Staff.
She's doing so
She's
much
that.
damage.
You know, a lot of people didn't like the full M-Pen builds earlier in like the development of M-Pen. But lately, it's really like the only way to go because when you build Void Staff, it gives you more AP than Death Cap. At any point, like past level
Elise gets
16.
caught by the death sentence and it proves pathetic.
That's literally what it is. Death sentence. You are dead. And at that 4v5, especially with a superior, like raw engagement potential of all this diving capability by Lee Sin, like we just saw,
deep.
we're gonna see Lovely Princesses. Oh, we actually see Nautilus pick up a kill on Draven there, and it looks like he might get out with Sliver of HP. Katarina being chased down by Kha'Zix, but good shielding from Kha'Zix. Good shielding. Jax doing great work picking up the kill on Kha'Zix there. And that looks like Jinx is actually going to be able to come in and clean up the majority. It's just everyone's so
Elise
low.
is here
And
too.
oh man, Elise, she's just going to shred through people with her execute. Well done by Mr. Gnome and the Chompskies. And specifically, I actually want to say well done by Kha'Zix. Really being the man, getting in there, and chopping everybody's health bar in half. That's really important.
Well, it's really impressive because that was a 4-on-5 and they picked up 4 kills and only lost 1.
I think probably what it was is that Lee Sin dived so deep. You know, he went
Too deep.
too deep. So he wasn't there to defend his team with his ult or with his shield from Kha'Zix. So they literally left Kha'Zix free to just kind of jump in and just shred everybody. And as a result of that, we saw their HP pools drop significantly, allowing the respawns from the previous engagement, from that previous pick, come in, Elise mainly, and just kill everybody.
Oh, Super Mega the Ultra Death Rocket of Doom. TM.
We see Thresh finishing Locket. Great buy.
Looks like Lovely Princesses are setting up for the Baron.
Quite a few defensive wards out. They definitely look like they're going to go for triple wards in that push there. However, Elise is coming in. And I think the question is, are they going to be able to drag them out of the positioning? Lee Sin dives deep, absorbs a ton of damage, and they manage to be able to kill on Elise. And following up with a kill on Nautilus. Looks like that's going to... Ooh. He managed to save Draven from Kha'Zix with that great CC. Wow. Kha'Zix is really fulfilling his role as a mobile picker, as his goal-oriented assassin. He is engaging, he's doing a lot of damage, and he's not or at least that time, he didn't die, because he managed to kind of position himself around their zone of attention. Unfortunately, we did see 2 fall for Mr. Gnome and the Chompskies. I'm interested they targeted Elise first. Elise, admittedly, she doesn't have a lot of
jump.
Kha'Zix is just so
sidesteps the rocket.
scary at this point. He's finished. There's so much gold.
Is he going to make it? Oh, he takes the lantern to safety.
This is what we were talking about earlier. Thresh.
Got to take the lantern.
Yeah. It's the fastest way out. Actually, now that I look at it, Kha'Zix, he has Last Whisper and T-Mat.
And Brutalizer.
Oh, that's a fair amount of damage. And he's Kha'Zix. So
That's a lot of
that's a lot of damage. So,
well, it's a lot of armor pen, and no one on Lovely Princesses has really built any armor.
we see Jinx having finished her Last Whisper, and we see Draven having purchased Infinity Edge. So we actually just saw a huge power jump for both ADCs. Jinx leading with a massive 238 CS lead. However, Draven has quite a few kills, which actually translate to more overall gold as he's leading by 2,000. The kills are actually starting to even out. We saw both teams pick up 4 kills, which is a far cry from the 3-to-1 ratio that we were seeing in favor of Lovely Princesses earlier in the game. I think Mr. Gnome and the Chompskies team has the endgame potential to close out. Ouch. Ooh, that was tough. Okay. Though, actually managed to just barely dodge Death Sentence there. And the drag Lee Sin behind enemy lines, but he does manage to escape. That pick at blue was great. Especially the fact that they managed to kill Kha'Zix, because he was the main threat for stopping them from doing Baron. Because if they do Baron and let's say Draven drops to 80%, that's well within Kha'Zix's kill range. And that's what they were spooked by. They didn't want Kha'Zix coming and just deleting somebody. But now that he's gone, the only really other high burst kill potential they have is Elise. She's out of position to stop the Baron. So now, with full health bars and a full team, we're probably going to see Lovely Princesses charge down mid. We see Lee Sin more or less pretty much fully built. He's got double pots on him. Diving really deep for Elise there. She flashes out after the ult. Managed to escape the CC chain. But drawing all that attention into protecting Elise did allow Lovely Princesses to take the tower. And I imagine this would probably lead to an inhibitor if they are just... Maybe if Jax goes in and makes a play, misses the anchor.
Thresh gets a hook here.
Where is it?
Maybe end the game.
Any clean engage at this point. There's the knockup. Misses the anchor again. But, well, regardless, all that footsies around the inhibitor resulted in the inhibitor actually.
Well, they're not done yet.
Oh, that clean jump back into base, actually looking to re-engage right when they thought they were done. Picking up a kill on Elise, still maintaining a good chunk of health. They have enough left in their health tank to charge down and take both of the throne towers, actually. Oh, looks like they're going to rotate bot, try to take this tower.
And the Baron buff gives them a lot of health regen.
Yeah, they could just... So. I mean, look how much they've regen already. Taking the tower, that's a good wave of caster minions. Elise is going to be up in 15 seconds, but they should be able to take this tower first. 5 up versus 4. Draven doing a ton of damage, just kind of singling out Alistar there.
Lee Sin dives for the Kha'Zix.
Draven
back in.
Draven also just destroying Nautilus. And that's a clean tower kill. We're going to see that fall into the inhibitor falling. Elise respawns, but they did time it well enough that she gets there only to maintain the number disadvantage. Oh, Death Sentence into play. Draven's going to be able to actually pick up a kill on her. So much damage. Yeah, we saw Draven really hitting a damage breakpoint, specifically in that last engagement. Just how fast he killed Nautilus, how fast he killed Alistar. Alistar and Nautilus, he killed them both in like 3 hits.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the sort of the divine. When he pops that, everything is a crit. You couple that with a Bloodthirster and an Infinity Edge, and he is exploding things.
Anyhow, well played by Lovely Princesses as they move into their second win of the